What's up everyone, Vu of NVU Films back with another video. And today is going to be another YouTube douchebag trash video as always. And no, it's not because I am holding a mic up at my mouth so that it covers half my face like all these YouTubers do these days, when I could easily put this mic over top, or I could just clip this little DJI Mic 2 here right there and then not have this mic just dangling around my face like I'm about to do some other type of video. But the reason why I'm doing this right now is because last week I was helping this young artist. She was trying to apply for a scholarship and needed someone to film her perform some songs in a studio environment. And she wanted to make sure it was filmed well. So of course she hired me, who is a professional cinematic D-bag of the century, to go help her with this project. And that's exactly what I did. And at the time, I wasn't sure how she was going to have her audio recorded. Luckily, she was at the studio, and obviously the studio recorded her instrumentals as well as her voice, into one track, which is fantastic. But I decided to just play it safe also and record her vocals. So I just grabbed whatever I had in my bag, which was this Synco D1 shotgun mic. And then I took one of my DJI Mic 2 transmitters and I put it on 32-bit float. I hit record and I attached it to the Synco D1 shotgun mic. When I got home to back up the footage, I decided to take a listen to the audio from this setup, the Synco D1 shotgun mic and this DJI Mic 2 in 32-bit float. And I was astounded at the audio quality and how easy it was for me to set up. I didn't have to set levels or anything. I just turned it on, hit record, and that was it. Yes, it's a bit janky, it's dangling and all that stuff, but if I wanted to, I could figure out a way to make it smaller. But in my opinion, with my somewhat professional ears, the audio sounded really good.
Ni sueñes que voy a luchar por él. Yo te lo regalo, llévatelo lejos.
Especially this little Synco D1 shotgun mic is very cheap. It's like, I think it's under $200. And then this DJI Mic 2 transmitter, I think it's like $100. So this combination, such an easy way to get nice clean audio for whatever project you're working on. And then of course, you could, if you actually have the whole DJI Mic 2 system, it's wireless, the whole 9 yards. So it may seem like, I'm all up on like this about DJI and all that stuff, but no, it's not. I bought this whole system myself. I have no affiliation with DJI. They won't even approve my YouTube debag affiliate links to them. So yeah, all the links are actually in the description below if you actually want to buy the stuff for Amazon, all affiliated, so I could make some money. But that's not the whole point of this video. The whole point of this video is about Sony's new firmware updates for the Sony a7S III and Sony a1. After a decade of the release of those two cameras, and now they have released a bunch of other cameras, they have finally released new firmware to get the Sony a7S III and a1 caught up with all of these other newer Sony D-bag trash cameras, such as Sony ZV-E1, a7 IV, a7SIII, whatever other cameras they have recently released, FX3 and all that stuff. But that's not entirely true, because Sony, for reasons that I have no idea, omitted a lot of important features from the Sony a7S III and the a1 that every other Sony camera after them has, which is one of the most important ones, and in my opinion, the most important one, is the ability to load in your own LUTs into your camera so that what you're seeing out of the crappy trash monitor of your Sony camera is an image that is going to be similar to the final image that you end up producing at the end of the day. Yes, there is probably 3 of you that exists that actually cares about focus breathing compensation, DCI 4K, or maybe even the ability to have anamorphic de-squeeze in your camera. But the reality is, those three features is trash, especially on the Sony camera. First of all, focus breathing compensation, I feel like it is a hype, a scam produced by YouTubers. Because I'm a douchebag trash filmmaker, I use autofocus all the time and I don't manual focus and all that stuff. I don't play around with my fingers like this, whatever. But I never really I didn't really notice or cared about the focus breathing. If there was focus breathing in the shots that I do, like if I'm pushing in to a subject that I'm autofocused on, the focus breathing is not really noticeable based on the amount of focus pulling the camera is doing. And there's probably one time every 6 shoots where I'm actually required to focus from one point to the other. And the funniest thing is, I watched some interview with some actual Hollywood filmmakers who was talking about lenses and how they actually liked focus breathing in the lens. So, where is all of the hate about focus breathing coming from? I have no idea, but it is overhyped. And in my opinion, I don't want to crop in to my image the whole entire shoot just because in one instance, maybe the focus breathing is going to be annoying. And say there is a shot or two that has focus breathing when I don't like it, then I could just go and post and fix it myself. It's just a matter of keyframing and scaling in when the breathing is there. That's exactly what the Sony camera is doing automatically in camera, but then is doing it for the whole entire shoot. So you are sacrificing not only your full frame coverage, but also the image quality, the overall image quality, because it is cropping in to the sensor to compensate for focus breathing. So, yeah, that's a completely overhyped, borderline trash feature that I don't really give a shit about. Then there's things like DCI 4K. I guess that is, wanted by some filmmakers. Fine. That's a feature that I guess has some importance. But then there's things like, I don't know. But then there's anamorphic de-squeeze. Have you ever tried to manual focus on a Sony camera before without having an external monitor? It is impossible. Maybe it's because I'm a 40-year-old Asian piece of YouTube douchebag trash who cannot see anymore. But for as long as I remembered, even when my vision was somewhat decent with glasses, whatever, I was able to see and tell what was in focus on the camera monitor built into the Sony cameras. Even then, I always relied on the actual box that the autofocus is showing me that, okay, something is in focus. Luckily, Sony's box of where it's autofocus and where it's actually focused is really accurate based on my experience of doing a lot of run and gun filmmaking. So I'm confident in what I'm seeing. But when I try to use like an anamorphic lens and I de-squeeze on a Sony camera, not only that they only have like a 1.33 and a 2 times de-squeeze feature, and my Sue and the Sue lenses that I use that are anamorphic is 1.6, so they don't really fit into that de-squeeze factor, or whatever you want to call it. But then I can't see a damn thing on Sony's shitty monitors. First of all, focus peaking is pretty much just shows everything is peaking if there's contrast. And so that's one. And then you got this small ass screen, which reminds me of pretty much trying to find my junk when I'm going to the bathroom. Like, I can't find it, it's small. So this tiny Sony screen, and unless you have like a A7R5 or whatever, the resolution, the contrast, the colors of the screen is actually straight rubbish, straight unadulterated garbage coming from your local landfill. I can't see shit on it. So I'm gonna need, if I'm gonna be manual focusing, if I'm gonna be using anamorphic, I need a big monitor to be able to see what I'm focusing on anyway. So anamorphic D-squeeze is completely useless. And of course, you guys, some of you who don't know me, who have not subscribed, and you should be subscribed because this is clearly high quality YouTube content, you would know that I'm not a Sony hater. Matter of fact, I am probably the biggest Sony YouTube douchebag trash in the universe. I'm currently filming with a Sony ZV-E1, the ultimate Sony YouTuber D-bag content creator trash camera of the century. I own an FX3, I own a Sony FX30, and a Sony a7 IV, and a mother load of Sony GM lenses and other E-mount glass that I'm probably 2 lenses short of becoming a lens rental. I'm a huge fan of Sony, all right? I'm Vietnamese. There's a few things that we are absolutely sure of when it comes to being Vietnamese in America. One, we love to drive Toyotas and Hondas, and those of us who are more fortunate will be driving Lexuses. Two, we love Sony, okay? One of my worst memories of my life was carrying a 32-inch Sony Trinitron TV monitor up the stairs. Those things are heavy, almost as heavy as a Jewin Crane 2, but that's for another video entirely. And three, we all own nail salons with possibly happy ending massages in the back after hours. But that is neither here nor there. That is for another video involving P. Diddy. So the point is, I like my Sony stuff, and I'm not sitting here clowning on them for absolutely no reason. If Sony came up to me and invited me to go to Sony Cando, I'll do it right away. No questions asked. I'll be filming a bunch of YouTube shorts and reels on my way there, straight rubbing Sony all over. And if they want to send me a new lens for review on embargo and say a bunch of good things about it, I'll absolutely do it. Like every other YouTube douchebag out there talking about how I'm not sponsored by them and how I'm sponsored by Storyblocks and Squarespace and all those other trash brands that just take advantage of YouTubers out there that want to make that easy money by doing ad reads. I get it. Everyone needs to get their bills paid. Everyone, needs to do their content creator thing. I'm not even hating on that. Can't do it myself. But yeah. Why did they not include USER LUTS in their current firmware update for the Sony a7SIII and the A1? No idea. I know they're capable of it, and I hope they do another update for that soon. Does it concern me? No, because I sold my a7SIII a while back for FX3, and I've been really happy with that. But, I have a couple of buddies who for some reason still own a7SIIIs. Say, Park, RJ, Goodwin, you guys, what are you doing? I don't know why you guys haven't already switched over to the FX3 already. You guys over there just enjoying living in poverty while I'm enjoying looking at my USER LUT on my shitty Sony FX3 screen. You guys are over there looking at frickin' Rec 709, Gamma Assist, whatever, trash, garbage, straight diarrhea in the porta potty. I'll be honest, out of all of these new Sony features that came after Sony a7SIII and all that stuff, the LUT, the USER LUT is the only thing that I use out of all of it, because I use it to be able to expose properly, because my LUTs that I use are set up to obviously work with footage that is overexposed slightly by 1.7 stops or so. And so when I look at what I'm seeing on screen in terms of like the highlights, the shadows, and all that stuff, because I'm using the USER LUTs, it is pretty clear as day that this is how I'm exposing it and this is how the image is going to look in at the final edit. And I don't really use zebras. I don't use any other type of like exposure assist features. I just look at the image and I know what it's going to look like in the end, and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about having zebras all over my already shitty screen where I could barely see anything. So I need to be able to have that entire Sony screen to see the exact image I'm getting, and that's how I get all of, and that's how I expose my footage. That is how important user LUTs are to me, and the fact that they did not include it in the Sony a7S III, Sony A1 firmware update is an atrocity. And I hope they somehow hear what I'm saying and do the fix for all of you Sony a7S III A1 users. But I doubt it because, again, my channel has like 27,000 subscribers. I have over 600 videos on this channel with only 27,000 subscribers. Most people with over 300 videos on their YouTube channel are probably in the millions, probably being sponsored by Storyblock, Squarespace, probably going on trips to do YouTube ads for DJI, probably, are able to do backflips off of cliffs, probably get invited to Sony Kando, probably getting paid for every product review they do on their channel. But yeah, that is my video for today. Completely accomplished nothing. But yeah, I am just so please just subscribe to my YouTube douchebag trash channel. Help a brother out. I mean, I am a true YouTube d-bag. I mean, I'm even using the most popular YouTube douchebag light today, which is the Jewin Molus 60 or whatever, currently lighting my wannabe YouTube d-bag shot. You see that? The new Molus X60, whatever the name of the light is. It is currently at 100% full power, currently just bouncing the light off of a diffusion sheet hanging off of my window, and it actually has the reflector and the little diffuser ball on the light to try to get a little softer key light going on my face. And yeah, 100% output, super bright, very impressed. The only issue I have with it is that it is very loud. The fan is as loud as my diarrhea after eating 3-week-old Vietnamese food in the refrigerator that my mom told me that she just cooked yesterday. But again, that is also for another video entirely. But let's take a listen. Hopefully, the audio wasn't clipped because of how loud that fan was, thanks to this 32-bit float action. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed me borderline deep-throating this mic the entire video. But yeah, until next time, lighten up. Hey man, you make Sony can't do video? Nah bro, I wasn't invited to Sony Kando. Not gonna lie, I would've went. No man, I said Sony can't do, not Kando. Sony can't do? What's that? Let me show you. Sony can't do shutter angle. Sony can't do open gray. Sony can't do screen not look like trash. Sony can't do firmware update for Sony a7S III. Sony can't do new camera release without 10 million YouTuber track video. Let me guess, Sony can't do Canon color science or Panasonic IBIS? Buy my how to circle jerk other content creator masterclass. Only $29.99.